Yeah, so Clustertruck, we're a vertically integrated delivery-only restaurant. A lot of times called a ghost kitchen. The idea being we control the entire process from ordering to delivery. While a traditional restaurant doing delivery may have a third party to handle its ordering and delivery, that's going to be all us from start to finish. So customers will place an order on our apps or our website. It'll come to our kitchen. We have our own kitchen management system in our software that's actually going to manage the cooking and preparation of the order from, first receiving it from the customer, how resources are actually managed in our kitchen. Resources being, different cook stations, the folks in the kitchen as they're working, what's available, how do we most efficiently process that order through. And then on to delivery. So we manage an entire fleet of couriers for each of our locations, their availability, their location, their relationship, where they are in timing to an order that they're going to take to make sure that the preparation lines up. And we had to write a lot of software to manage the process to make sure that all these things work in concert to allow for that speed, allow us to get the efficiency and capacity so that we can be profitable at making all these deliveries and be a good experience for everyone involved. And that includes the couriers, the customer, and us as a business.
And how do you get to that point of profitability?
We have to do a certain volume, and we have to do a certain volume with a certain number of resources. So that's the software is what really makes that possible. So you think, and that's really a combination of, we had to rethink everything from a model standpoint as well. We couldn't really just bolt our system on to an existing operation. We had to think about how the software ties into the physical processes in the restaurant. Yeah, so we have a single menu with multiple cuisine types. So we don't necessarily have, a bunch of different concepts on one menu. It's all under Clustertruck, but we have lots of different things in Clustertruck, from pizza to pad thai to salads to burritos to burgers. It's all on Clustertruck's menu, and all that food comes out of a single kitchen on a single make line. So from all the actual pieces of the delivery to the way we built our software to make. So like I said, we manage the driver fleet to make sure they're as efficient as possible, and efficiency is both to get the number of deliveries out that we need to get out, as well as to make sure that from a business level, our couriers are independent contractor gig workers that in order for this to work for them, then they have to be as efficient as possible to make sure that they make the right amount of money. So, if we're having to spend a lot of money to recruit couriers all the time, then it's not going to be successful for us. So we need to make sure they're making enough money so we're not always having to recruit couriers.
How does working with Clustertruck work from a delivery driver perspective, and how do you keep drivers on board and kind of like paying them competitive wages?
Drivers are a very high priority for us, because if in reality, a customer may never meet an employee of Clustertruck, but they're going to meet their delivery driver. That's going to be the one face that they see. So we really wanted to make sure that they were going to be successful, and that they were, and the Clustertruck is a good option for them. So what's important to a courier is we want to make sure we maximize their earnings, and we're able to do that by the number of jobs we can get them in an hour or a certain period of time. So the more they're working, the more jobs they have, the more money they make, and the happier they are. The customer actually meets the courier at the curb rather than the courier taking the food up an apartment building or up to the front door. So the customer will track the driver coming in just like you would an Uber or a Lyft, meet them at the curb, and the courier's on the way back to the kitchen to get another run. Same thing at our kitchens. The couriers don't come into the kitchens. We bring the orders out to them and hand it to them so they can stay in the car the entire time. And that's all part of the way to maximize the number of jobs that they can get. Our kitchens are actually very quiet. I think they're different than a traditional kitchen. I mean, we'll have cooks, with headphones in listening to music, because our software kind of maps out the whole process of what they need to work on, so they can just follow the screens and work through their list of things to make. And we time everything perfectly, so when something shows up on the screen, that's when they make it. And it's a calm process. It's a calm kitchen.
How does that that you mentioned that software? How does that software work? And are you working with is it proprietary? Or are you working with a tech partner?
Yeah, so like I say, it's all our software. So that's something that we built in-house from scratch. Like our KDS system is completely built. We had to build it from scratch in order to do the things that we wanted to do with it. So, you know, all our food is synchronized with the position of the courier. So we know where the courier is, we know how long food takes to make, and we kind of time those things together so that when the courier is pulling up to the kitchen door, your food is just being done and handed out the door to them. So it's on the way to you, and that's how we keep it so fresh.
Be sure to check out more independent restaurant news content at restaurant-hospitality.com.